welcome to Healing Cottage Homestead. Welcome to my kitchen. I'm so happy to have you with me today. Today is Homestead Sunday and we're going to make something a little different, not necessarily diabetic friendly, but also not diabetic unfriendly. We can have bread. We just have to have bread in moderation. And so for me, carbohydrates are one of my biggest weaknesses. So I really try to limit the amount of bread that I have. But we're getting into the holiday season. It is October. It's already after the middle of October, going into the third part of October. And I want to try out a recipe that I saw online from Becky at Acre Homestead for a rustic loaf of bread because at Christmas I like to give some of my homemade jam along with a loaf of bread. And I do have a French bread recipe that I think is really good that I could share with people. But this rustic bread looks so good. It looks very much like a sourdough loaf with the crustiness on the outside, and you do bake it the same way in the oven, in your Dutch oven. So I'm going to try this recipe and see what it tastes like, how it turns out. And it has to sit for 12 to 18 hours. So it's actually Saturday and I won't bake this bread until tomorrow morning. So we're starting out with 1.5 cups of warm water. And then we are going to put in 3¼ cups of flour. Let me see what I can get here. That's a 1/3 cup. My cups are all apparently dirty. So let's see what we can get. If this will fit in here. Yeah, it will. Some of my other cups don't. Whoops. So that's about 1. 2. 3, and it's 1/4. So that's about 1/4, especially with my overage in my first cupful. And then we're going to do 2 teaspoons of salt. And I only have my tablespoon and my 1/4. Oh, here I have other spoons here. So we'll do 2 teaspoons of salt. And then 1/2 teaspoon of yeast. And it didn't say, she didn't say what kind of yeast, I don't think, or I wasn't paying attention. So I'm just using active dry yeast. There's 1/2 teaspoon of yeast. And then she says to stir that together. I'm going to use my, is it a Danish whisk? I think it is Danish. I never, sometimes think Swedish, Danish, I'm not sure. So we'll get this mixed together. She said it will be a shaggy dough. And I am not good at shaggy dough because it's definitely shaggy, but my instinct is to form this up. So I'm going to do that because it just seems unusual to me to not incorporate all that's left of the little tiny bits of flour that are in there when it's shaggy like that. And she didn't say to oil it, says just cover. I feel like I need to read it again because I feel like I've never made a dough where you didn't oil the bowl. So I might not have written down all the directions. So that's it. We're going to cover this and let it sit for 18 hours. I am going to check and see if she did say to oil it. And if she did, I'll comment on that when we come back tomorrow. But that's all. So we will come back tomorrow in 18 hours. So 18 hours will be around 8 o'clock tomorrow morning for me. And I will go ahead and bake this dough. We bake it for 30 minutes covered. I'll put it on parchment paper, put it in my Dutch oven, bake it for 30 minutes covered, and then I think it's 10 or 15 minutes uncovered. She did say that you want to let it cool completely before you cut into it, otherwise it can be gummy. So we will do that, and I will talk to you tomorrow, and I hope you're enjoying your Saturday, or when you watch this, whatever day that is. Good morning, friends. It is about 6:30 in the morning, 6:40, and we are going to finish our next step. It's been 16 and a half, almost 17 hours now, so we are going to turn our oven on 450. And she says that we need to heat up our Dutch oven while the oven is pre. And then we need to take a piece of parchment paper, and we need to put some flour down on it. Let's take a peek. So it has risen. She said that it will look a little dry on the top, and that's okay. And that what we want to do now is take it and fold it into itself. And we want to do this for about a minute or two until it looks, I'll make sure you can see what I'm doing, until it looks very smooth on this side, which it already does. We'll keep doing this for about a minute. Oh, she said we pinch them when we get them in here. I did rewatch the video last night, and if you want to watch her video, I'll try and link it in the description box. It's only about 5 minutes, and a little over 5 minutes, and really good video. And I think that looks really good. So I'm going to put it here, and we're going to put it back in our bowl, and we're going to cover it again, and we're going to let it rise for 30 minutes. So that will be 7:15. So we'll let that rise for 30 more minutes, and then we will put that in our Dutch oven. We'll pull our Dutch oven out, put that in our Dutch oven. Then we're going to cook it for 30 minutes with the lid on, take the lid off, and cook it for an additional 15 minutes. So we'll be back in about 30 minutes. Okay, it's been 30 minutes. We're going to put this bread in here. And we're going to put the lid on. Whew. You need double pot holders. And then we're going to put it in the oven for 30 minutes with the lid on. Then I'm going to take the lid off for 15 minutes, and then we'll come back and see what it looks like. Okay, friends. It looks gorgeous. But I'm tearing up the parchment paper. Because it's you see that? It looks beautiful. So what she said is you want to check the bottom, and if it sounds hollow, which it does, then it's cooked. And then it continues to cook. It continues to cook on the inside. The steam will continue to cook the inside, and that's why you don't want to cut into it yet. So we're going to let this cool for probably an hour or two, and then I will cut into it, and I will probably just give you a picture of what it looks like when I cut into it, because I don't want to rush it, and I am known to rush things. You know that about me. So I'll take a picture of it once it is cut and share that with you. So I hope that you enjoyed today's video. If you did, give it a thumbs up or a like, and subscribe to my channel. You can get notifications, or you can turn notifications off. Either way, it would help me if you turn notifications on so you know when I post new content, and then you watch that. But I'm getting so close to where I need to be to grow the channel and to really start to show up in the algorithm when people search for either diabetic friendly recipes or homestead content. So you would be helping me out a lot, tremendously, friends. So I hope that you did enjoy today's video, and if you did, you can also follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. I post videos every Tuesday and Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern that are always diabetic friendly, and on Sundays I post some of the back content or how the food gets to the table, often what I call Homestead Sunday, like today, where we are creating something that we're going to gift to others. So it's not necessarily that we as diabetics would eat this bread, although we could. I think it's about 26 grams of carbs in a slice. So if you really watched what other carbohydrates you were having in a meal, you could have that. But if you're like me, white bread, bagels, things like that, spike my sugar, and then I start to crash. So you definitely want to watch that. I'm not encouraging you to eat this. I'm encouraging you to share this with others who don't have the same issues that we have with our blood sugar. So anyway, I really enjoyed today's video. This smells delicious, and I think that this is absolutely going to be what I give away at Christmas. It looks exactly like what I would like to share with others. So hopefully you'll give it a try, and I'm going to put Becky's link to her video in the description box of this video for you. Thanks, friends, and I look forward to cooking with you again soon. Take care.